Looking out my window, sun shining bright.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Sideline Channel. It's your boy Reese. Day 5 of the NBA playoffs wrapped up. Coming back with some more of this recap. Some big wins, some series tied. One team went up 2-0 last night, so you already know the deal, bro. Let's just get into it. If you're new around here, go ahead and drop that subscribe, my boy. You're here for a reason. You enjoy NBA content. That's really what this channel is for, you know what I'm saying? Basketball, NBA. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe. Kicking this off, though, Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant for Game 2. The Memphis Grizzlies going into this game were 32-17 without Ja Morant, an above 500 record in that regard. I don't know why people were so like, oh, the series is over, there's no Ja Morant, the Grizzlies can't hang. As we saw from last year and the year prior, this team can hang without Ja Morant. They don't need Ja Morant being on the court for them to be successful all the time. Now, is Ja Morant a very key part of this team? Well, of course, he's the star, he's the franchise player of the team. But without Ja Morant, this team is still a very well put together team. As we saw last night, Tyus Jones doing his thing. Xavier Tillman, the biggest surprise of the game, the second leading scorer of all scorers, second only to LeBron James. Really giving Anthony Davis some trouble down there in the paint. Rim running, crashing the glass, snagging boards like Odell Beckham in that fourth quarter to keep Memphis Grizzlies alive. Xavier Tillman had a really good showing in this game. Outplayed Anthony Davis entirely, points and rebounds. Great game for the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant. They have not lost back-to-back home games all year. They're now 36-6 at home, including the playoffs now. So the Memphis Grizzlies have proven that they can win games at home and without Ja Morant. That's what we saw last night. Of course, you have Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane still, who both didn't have the games that they had in Game 1. Desmond Bane had 13 points in 13 minutes early on in the game and finished with just 17 points. He had a lot of missed shots missed throughout, but guys like Luke Kennard, like I said, Xavier Tillman, David Roddy stepped up really big tonight, hitting some big threes for the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson's defense, John Konchar's defense got a huge block on Anthony Davis at one point in the game, a dunk attempt at that. So just the defense, the grittiness of this team, we already knew what it was, but they really proved that they are a team that you gotta come and show. You have to show up and you have to show up for. You can't, just because Ja's not there, you're not just about to roll over them. Tyus Jones, 8 assists, 1 turnover last night, the best assist to turnover ratio in the past 2 to 3 seasons by far. The best backup, when you talk about an actual point guard, what a point guard is supposed to be, he is the best prototypical backup point guard that you can ask for. That's why he's the highest paid backup point guard in the league. They scored 38 of their 52 first half points in the paint, just actually absolutely attacking that Los Angeles defense. Although Anthony Davis did have the few blocks that he had, they were still causing him trouble down there. He couldn't get all the blocks. Braun had a few blocks as well, but all around the Memphis Grizzlies defense in that paint was just too much for LA to handle in that first half. It was a 20-point lead after half. It got cut to 6 going into the fourth quarter. They ended up being up 12 due to Dillon Brooks talking his shit to LeBron, and LeBron ended up taking off in that third quarter, making a run for the Los Angeles Lakers and keeping them in this game. Going all the way back to the Magic Johnson days, the 70s, the 80s, the Los Angeles Lakers, when they win Game 1, they have won 30 of those series consecutively. 30 series that they've had where they won Game 1, they've won that series. So history is saying that the Lakers are going to win this series based off of that statistic alone. They started the game shooting 2 for 12. Not ideal, especially when the Memphis Grizzlies came out so hot. It was 22, 23 to 11 at one point, just because they were missing so many shots. D'Angelo Russell, I'm very disappointed in the way that he played in this game. Just atrocious offense. Absolutely just chucking shots, taking terrible shots, in transition, or getting to the rim and having the floater, but flopping, trying to draw the foul, trying to get the official to call the foul, and it's just, he's looking bad out there. Malik Beasley, he's only played in 22 minutes in this series to D'Angelo Russell 65. Although Russell did have a 19-point game in that first game, he shot 17 shots. He was that's not good basketball. 19 points on 17 shots. 17 shots, you should have at least 34 if you make every shot. Albeit if they're 2-point shots. But you get what I'm saying. That wasn't he had a good scoring game, but not a good shooting game from the field. So maybe those minutes will flip. We'll see in the next 2 or 3 games for Darvin Ham, especially for the next game. I would hope getting Malik Beasley into that rotation, especially going back to LA where Malik Beasley has been his best this year after the trade. But early on, Anthony Davis, like I said, was rejecting everything. He had 4 first-half blocks, but he as well was atrocious on offense, and that ultimately, in my opinion, he and D'Angelo Russell's poor offensive performances are the reason that the Los Angeles Lakers lost this game. Had Anthony Davis showed up and dropped 25 and D'Angelo Russell at least 15 to 20, no, well, not even really 20, just taking more quality shots, because you had the Austin Reeves game. Rui Hachimura stepped up again, 20 points off the bench. That was very much needed, although they still lost this game by 10. His 20 points were very valuable. Really the only bench scoring that they had all game. The only other bench points that they had that really mattered were the 7 points from Malik Beasley in his 12 minutes. We need to see more Malik Beasley, one of the highest 3-point attempt shooters per game throughout the entire NBA season, and that the Lakers are going to need that moving forward, especially if they, Ja Morant's not going to be there for game 3. We don't know. But if he's not there, the Lakers really need as much scoring as they can get. You got the defense with Anthony Davis. He's had 10 blocks in 2 games, over 10 blocks in 2 games. LeBron, he's got 4 or 5 blocks in these last 2 games. J8, Jared Vanderbilt, he's going to get his shit. So they need offense. The team shot just 36% in that first half. Like I said, they were getting outplayed by Xavier Tillman. Luke Kennard had 10 first half points as well. They started the second half shooting 1 of 6 from the field, just got completely outplayed on both ends. Like I said, LeBron James, Dylan Brooks talking his shit to him, caused LeBron to get, start being more aggressive. Kept LA in the game, went on a 17-3 run at one point and cut the lead to 6. But the Memphis Grizzlies jumped that back up to 12 going into the 4th, and they pretty much ran away with the game from there. Xavier Tillman, like I said, MVP of the game. And we're going to hopefully moving forward, he has the same kind of production. I don't think he'll have the same game that he had last night for the rest of the series, but if they can at least get a double-double from him every game, the Memphis Grizzlies have a chance to win this series in lieu of losing Steven Adams and Brandon Clark. I'm not even going to cap to you, that Miami and Milwaukee game I didn't tune into for a second. Watching the Lakers, obviously it's on while the Lakers game is on, so I can't tune into both and really lock in and pay attention. So I'm just looking at the score, and they went up by 30 at one point in the first half. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not tuning into that game. Even in going into the third quarter, they were 101-76. I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna watch that game. Had Memphis got blown out by Denver, like it was starting to look like they would in that first half, I wasn't even gonna make a video today. I'm gonna be real with you. I wasn't even gonna make a video today, but Denver and Minnesota's game turned out to be pretty decent. So here we are. Jamal Murray just picking up right off where he left in game 1. Early on in this game, getting the steals, leading the transition dunks, a mid-range jumper to begin the game. A couple splashes. All of this happens in the first 7 minutes of the game. 14 first quarter points, 18 in the first half. Really looking good out there, comfortable. Back to the Jamal Murray that we know, especially back from that bubble playoff run where he was dueling with Donovan Mitchell going for 50s. That's similar to what we saw in this game with Anthony Edwards. They both went for 40 points in this game, 40 or more points in this game on 6 made threes for the both of them. So a very, very interesting series going forward. Even though Minnesota is down 2-0, we saw that they have some fight in them moving forward. Hopefully that they can win at least 1 in Minnesota, or win 2, because they have the chops, they have the personnel to compete with this Denver Nuggets team. Obviously, when you have the MVP, 2-time reigning MVP in Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, like I said, looking back like himself. Michael Porter, he's looking decent out there, hitting his shots when he need to. Aaron Gordon, obviously, he's not about to drop you 30 points, but he's being very instrumental on offense with rebounding, getting in the dunker spot and getting the points at the right time. Defensively looking well. So, you know, for this Denver Nuggets team, obviously they have the better team, but the Minnesota Timberwolves do have the personnel, like I said, to win this series or even make it a series. Both teams showed great energy early on, running the floor, attacking in transition. Denver in the paint scored half their first half points in the paint, went on a 22-7 run and ballooned their lead up to 17 in that first half. Got it up to as much as 21 points throughout the game. 19 fast break points in the first half to Minnesota's 3. Like I said, they were absolutely destroying them in that paint, and most of that came in transition. Jamal Murray looked stellar down the stretch. Jokic is just giving him the ball for the last 6 minutes, telling everybody, move out the way. It's Jamal Murray's time, and he delivered. He answered. Like I said, he had 18 in the first half. In that fourth quarter, dropped 11 points. He ended up with 41. The third quarter, he was hot as well, just keeping Denver in that game when Minnesota made their run to come back. They actually took the lead at one point when Denver was up at the half by 15 points. Minnesota came out looking really nice, much more energetic on the offense and defense, getting steals, cut the lead to 3 at one point, making 8 of 9 in their first shots to begin the half. 14-0 run, 25-6 extended run to eventually take the lead in the third quarter. For the first time since being up 10-9 in that first quarter, they took the lead 81-80 with 2.5 to go. But as we know, down the stretch, they kind of fell apart, and Denver was able to take this game thanks to the beautiful game from Jamal Murray. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the game that Anthony Edwards had, I think this is a playoff career high for him. 41 points in this game, 2 steals and 3 blocks. He's looked very, very good on the defensive end in the past 4 games. Like he said at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the season, he can play defense. He just hasn't, he hasn't tapped into it fully yet. Well, in my opinion, he's done that just in this last stretch for Minnesota, with them making the play-in in the last game of the season against the Pelicans, in the play-in, and now these 2 games against Denver. He's looked amazing. Honestly, offensively, he hasn't looked good before this game. This was the game that they really needed him, and he really needed help from Karl Anthony Towns, who these past couple of games just hasn't looked good at all. The man didn't score his second basket. He didn't score his first basket until the third quarter. Wasn't aggressive, was not involved in the offense in that first half whatsoever, and was just turning the ball over as well. Other than rebounding in that first half, he didn't do shit. I'm gonna just be real with you. He wasn't out there doing anything. He got outplayed by Rudy Gobert. He got outscored by Rudy Gobert. Not in no series, in no game, no way, no how should Karl Anthony Towns be getting outscored by Rudy Gobert, whose only offensive attribute is dunking the ball. The offense looked absolutely atrocious, abysmal when Edwards was not on that court in that last stretch of the first quarter leading into the second quarter. I don't know the run that Denver went on, but that's when they really jumped their lead up. He gets into the game, keeps his aggression up, and helps Minnesota somewhat stay into that game. And he looked good in that fourth quarter as well. They're really gonna need some bench production moving forward throughout this series. Not much help for Anthony Edwards in this game whatsoever. Like I said, Rudy Gobert was their second leading scorer with 19 points. You had 14 points, 7 assists from Conley, just 10 points from Karl Anthony Towns on 25% shooting. Like that's not going to cut it, Cat. That's just not going to cut it. 12 points from Taurean Prince, 10 points from Kyle Anderson, but no one's there to help Anthony Edwards. The man had 41 points, and the next closest scorer was Rudy Gobert with 19, who most of his points were on dish dump-offs and just a dunk. He needs help. Karl Anthony Towns needs to show the hell up for these next 2 games in order for them to have any chance of winning this series. I appreciate y'all tuning in though, bro. I try to keep it short. Obviously, looking at the time of the recording, it's not as short as I wanted it to be, but it's all good. I might not make a video tomorrow because of my work schedule and 2 games. They have games coming on at 10 o'clock. The Warriors-Kings game come on at 10 o'clock. And then the Suns and Clippers game come on at 10:30 tonight. I work at 6 in the morning tomorrow. I can't watch 2 games at once, like I said earlier in the video. So we might not get a video for tomorrow, at least not an NBA video, but you know, might get a 2K video. So just stay tuned with your boy. I'm about to get up out of here. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.